Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast, this time talking about the brand new DVD that is coming out on the 26th of October 2015 in the UK and God knows when in the rest of the world, The Underwater Menace. Now we all know that The Underwater Menace has got 3 missing episodes. Bear with me, we know that's not true, but bear with me. There was only one of them that were existing. I think it was episode 3, and that was on the Lost in Time box set. So everyone who wanted to experience the story had some telesnaps in a book and also had, well, a nice audio soundtrack with a bit of overacting, or at least that's what it sounded like. And you could imagine Ben and Polly and Jamie having a bit of fun, straight from the fields of Culloden. And that was how the world was. There was talk of animating missing episodes, and then the other episode turned up. So we then had a fully functional episode 2 and a fully functional episode 3. There were some snippets that had been taken from the Australian Classification Board, but let's face it, unless you had a loose cannon recreation, you just weren't going to get to see these things. So this was a found episode, and everyone was very excited thinking they'd get to see it. And then we were still excited thinking we'd get to see it, and it never quite happened. We just didn't get to see it. Everyone started kicking off, and then the DVD line ended, and we thought, we're going to get to see this at some point, aren't we? Seriously? Perhaps? This is just one episode that we haven't found, and we're going to end up buying a box set, so why doesn't somebody animate episodes 1 and 4, and then we'll get those back? But then the money ran out, and the company's folded, and some of the animation was done, and some of it wasn't done, and we like animation down our way, because, you know, my first degree's in animation. I'm a bit of a fan. So we all sort of kick off, and eventually the BBC go, hang on, we could make some cash here. We're BBC Worldwide, we're not too entertained at all. Why don't we release it using just telesnaps and forget the animation? And the rest of the world went, oh, alright then, well at least we'll have something. And that's what they've done. We have got this Underwater Menace in front of us. The 5th serial of the 4th season, broadcast from January 1967 to February 1967. It's Jamie McCribben's first journey in the TARDIS. And yeah, the 2 episodes have been remastered. But you know what? Listening to the original audio, you could picture it slightly better than you can picture it now in front of you. It's weird watching episodes 1 and 4 in telesnap format. You're sort of sitting there almost willing it to jump out of its tiny little box and just break into 3 dimensions. It's like watching Le Jetée. And if you've not seen that, go away and watch it now. So yeah, when people joke about the destruction of Atlantis, this is one of those stories. So reference to the beginning of the last series as a sort of advert for this. You'd be forgiven for thinking those things. So what else do you get apart from a very odd little story? Well, of course, you get commentaries. Episode 1, you've got an interview with Michael Troughton, part 2 from The Ice Warriors. You've also got episodes 2 and 3 with commentary from Annick Wills, Fraser Hines, Catherine Howe, Special Sound Supervisor Brian Hodgson, and floor assistant Quinn Mann. For episode 4, you've also got material actually featuring Pat Troughton, Julia Smith, Hugh David and Innes Lloyd, all moderated by Toby Haydock, all there. It's the sort of thing that we used to love, and you know what, it's not a problem. But let's face it, it's a DVD release and it's the VAM that we're here for. So what else is there? Well, there's a brilliant documentary that lasts 28 minutes and 30 seconds. It's longer than an episode itself, called A Fishy Tale. The cast and the crew look back on the whole story, but it's narrated by Peter Davison. It's actually a little gem. It's the sparkling, tiny dot at the end of the DVD release range. But of course, we still have part 2 of Television Centre of the Universe. Again, it's half-hour long, and Yvette Fielding continues her tour of the BBC TV Centre with Peter Davison, Janet Fielding, Mark Strickson, and there's just a ridiculous amount of other people involved in this. It's a glorious little doc, and I'm so glad that we finally got to see part 2 of this. So yeah, this might be the last ever DVD released. But you know what? It's not a bad way to go, is it? If you don't know the story, go for it, get this. Don't expect the world. But nothing in the world can stop me now. So with that, I'll fade away and let you go off and buy it. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast. Available on RSS, iTunes, Audioboom, Tumblr, and wherever podcasts are found. Why not become a supporter of the show by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Doctor Who and its associated properties are copyright of the BBC and no infringement is intended. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.